Hey guys, Mr. Coe here back at the Eagles Science Lab. I'm going to be doing the Feel the Beats experiment for you guys. So in this experiment, we are going to be observing how vibrations create sound. So we are going to build a model to help us do that. I have my 2 jars, I've got my sugar, I've got my elastic bands, and I do not have plastic wrap, but I figured that I could use a plastic bag as a substitute. Okay, so we are ready to start completing the procedure portion. So it says take the containers and put them on a flat surface with the open ends facing upward. So I have that done. It says pull a piece of plastic wrap tightly over each opening. So I went ahead and pulled apart my plastic bag into 2 halves so that way I could wrap it tightly over each container. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, it says tie elastic bands over the plastic wrap to hold it down over the openings. So I'm going to do that part. Let's see if I can get it. I want it tight as possible, so I'm trying to wrap it as tightly as I can. There we go. All right, let's do the same thing for the other one. All right, so as I started to put the plastic wrap over the second container, I realized that I did not have to do that. I only needed plastic wrap on top of one of the containers. So I went ahead and placed my sugar on top of the plastic part of the container here. So now it is telling me that it wants me to try tapping the other container. So I'm going to be using the second container here, and I'm going to be tapping it close to the salt and see what happens. So this is your observations part of the experiment. Remember, you should have completed the hypothesis and question already, so that's your part 1. So now you're ready for the observations portion. So if you have not come up with a question for this experiment and completed the hypothesis portion, you can go ahead and pause the video now before moving on to the observations, and then play it whenever you're ready to continue. So what they want us to record in the observations portion of the assignment is what happens when we hold the container closer and tap it, and what happens when we hold the container farther away and tap it. So I'm going to go ahead and start tapping the container close. You might not be able to see it, but it is like right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and start tapping. See what happens to the sugar as I tap close to the container. I'm going to do it again. Okay, so write down your observations as to what happened when I tapped the container close to the salt, or sorry, the sugar. Sorry for all that racket. All right, so if you need some time to keep recording your observations, you can pause the video and play it whenever you're ready to continue. So we're still on the observations portion where I am going to hold the container farther away now, and I am going to tap it, and I want you to see what happens to the sugar on top of the container. So I'm going to go ahead and start tapping farther away. So what did you notice happened to the sugar as I tapped my container farther away? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do it close again, just so we can kind of see the difference. Hey guys, so the video cut out at the end, but basically you get the point. You can always rewind the video to watch it again and record your observations in more detail. But now you are ready to complete the conclusions part of the experiment. So the conclusion states that based on the experiment and observations, answer the question, how is sound produced? So you're going to use what I did in the experiment and the observations that you made and use that to answer the question, how is sound produced? All right, so that's going to be the end of this Eagle Science Lab video. I hope you guys are doing well, and until next time, bye!